Shalom, I want to give all honor and glory. Hey, Shalom, I want to give all honor and glory and praise to Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Peace, salutations to the hopeful legs scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel of truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to go over how smoking weed is a sin, and how it's witchcraft, sorcery, and black magic. That's going to be the topic of today's lesson. First, I want to start it off with Mark 1 and 14. I'm about to get to it. Bear with me. This is the book of Mark, chapter 1, and verse 14. Now after that, John was put in prison. Yahawashi came into Galilee, preaching the gospel of the kingdom of Yahweh. Verse 15 is saying the time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of heaven the kingdom of Yahweh is at hand. Repent ye and believe in the gospel. So that's what we need to do. We need to believe in the gospel of Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Malak Yahawashi, because this is the true gospel and the true names. The world ignorantly calls him Jesus Christ, but his true name is in ancient Paleo Hebrew Yahweh, the name of the Father, and in the Son, Yahawashi. So today we're going to go over how smoking weed is a sin. We'll go into that, start off with that second edge, it's chapter 9, since I was all by it. So I guess the first edges. Yeah, this is the second edge, it's chapter 9. Start at verse 23. Nevertheless, if thou wilt cease yet 7 days more, Slagia, but thou shalt not fast in them. But this is the Most High talking to Edges. Verse 24. But go in the fields of the flowers, where no house is builded, and eat only the flowers of the field. Eat only the flowers of the field. So smoking weed, when people are rolling up that tobacco and smoking it, that's not the way to go. The Most High only told you to eat the herb, not to smoke it. If you want to hear the word, come hear it. Got you. Taste no flesh, drink no wine, but eat flowers only. Eat only, don't smoke. Verse 25. Pray into the highest continually, then I will come and talk with thee. Verse 26. So I went my way into the field, which is called Ardoth, like as he commanded me, and there I sat among the flowers and did eat of the herbs of the field, and the meat of the same satisfied me. So you're eating the herb, you're not rolling it up in tobacco and smoking it. Smoking weed is a sin, it's a witchcraft. Goes into black magic and goes into sorcery with the witchcraft. Come on, now I'm gonna get out that Genesis 1 to 29 to go with that. The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 29. And Yahweh said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. For meat. It shall be for meat. That means to eat. So that means that we're eating the herb. We're eating the herb. We're not smoking it. We're not smoking it. Because it's a sin to smoke it. You want to hear the word, brother? Come here, I got you.
I'm a Catholic missionary. I know the word, brother. You have a good day. God bless you.
I know. See the Catholics.
You got the divinity and you got the word chapter 12. You got your divine moment.
Yeah, the true word is in Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 12. The word. Law, statutes, and commandments. Had to warn him, man. I used to be a Catholic too. I ain't a Catholic no more. Yeah. Yeah, so Genesis 1:29, you eat it. You eat the herb. You eat it. You don't smoke it. And that's not saying to go get some edibles and go eat it, because that's a sin right there. That's a sin to go eat it. You gotta, the only way it's okay if it was medicinal purposes to keep you alive. It does not say in the word to go get high off eating the edible. It says be sober in these precepts. I'll bring that out too. Let me get into that Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 17 first. The book of Ezekiel chapter 8 and verse 17. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? It is a light. It is a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit abominations, which they commit here. For they have filled the land with violence. They have filled the land with violence. And they have returned to provoke me out to anger. And lo, they have put their branch to their nose. They have put their branch to their nose. So when they put that branch to their nose, that's the plant that they're smoking and putting it to their nose and smoking it. Because we know we got to be in these law, statutes, and commandments. And this is not it's a commandment not to smoke this weed. By the grace of Yahawashi, I needed this lesson because I used to do this. And I slipped up, but I had to get back up. Like Proverbs 24 and 16. You get back up when you fall. And you seek him 10 times more, like Baruch 4 and 28. Come on. Just like in the Sirach. Sirach chapter 5 and verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great manner or a small. So you don't want to be ignorant of this. You want to take heed to the word of Yahawashi and not sin and not smoke. Because smoking is an abomination. We have to refrain. We have to stop doing that. Come back to the ways of the Lord. So this is the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 36. Let thy mind be upon the ordinance of the Lord. You want to be on the ordinance of the Lord, Yahawashi, following these law, statutes, and commandments. And meditate continually in his commandments. And he shall establish thine heart and give thee wisdom at thy own desire. So this is what you want to do. You want to follow these law, statutes, and commandments and give wisdom at thy own desire. Because wisdom and knowledge is key in the stability of these times. Paraphrasing. Get out that Salaki, I'm gonna get out that John. Because this is part of the law, not to do this. If you love Yahawashi, you won't do this too. So this goes for everyone. This is John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. God, if you love Yahawashi, that's a red letter. You will keep his commandments. And that's following these law, statutes, and commandments, the ones that Moses gave us, and having faith in Yahawashi by doing the counsel of Yahweh and doing the water baptism as well. So you want to follow this. The wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, in verse 12. For it was neither heard nor mollifying alabaster, restoring them to health, but thy word. It was the word of Yahawashi, the word of the Lord, which healeth all things. So the word of the Lord healeth all things. This word right here, this King James Version Bible, following these law, statutes, and commandments, the ones that Moses gave us, not following these church ways, following the ordinance of the gospel of Yahawashi, the true gospel. Not following men, not following the commandments of men. Following the Lord, not following Esau. Don't put your trust in Esau, Edom, because then you're going to lead on a path to destruction. Verse 13, for thou hast power of life and death, and thou leadest to the gates of hell, and bringest up again. And the man indeed killeth through his malice, and the spirit, when it gone forth, returneth not, neither the soul receive up and cometh again. But it is not possible to escape thine hand. Verse 16, for the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm, which with strange rains, hails, and showers were they persecuted, and they could not avoid through fire they were consumed. So this will lead you to destruction if you don't put your trust in Yahawashi and come to this word. It will lead you to being consumed in fire, eternal damnation, like fire when Yahawashi comes with his chariots and sends missiles. It will be either way. You'll go through it twice. Let me get out that the Job. Gotta stay in the word. That's why we follow these law, statutes, and commandments, and we die daily for a Mashiach Yahawashi. Like how Paul said. Because we know that tribulation worketh patience, like in Romans chapter 5. And we go through like in Acts 14:22, we go through these trials and tribulations to try to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Oh man. It's Esau, bro. Crazy. That's wrought. wrap this up. Find that Job. I can use my phone, it's good. I don't know the Bible. This is Job chapter 13, verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, and ye are all physicians of no value. So you taking that Xanax and those Percocets prescribed from a doctor, just like how weed is a sin. The pharmakeia in Greek means witchcraft. Huh? You know that pharmakeia, that's in Greek, that's that witchcraft and sorcery, that's that black magic. And then that's how you know, like it's sorcery, man. It's demonic control. I bring out that alchemy definition as well. The alchemy definition, the medieval forerunner of chemistry based on supposed transformation of matter. And it was concerned particularly with attempts to convert base metals into gold and to find universal elixir. Elixir, that's the main question. I mean, that goes with this. Elixir, the definition is magical medicinal potion. And this all leads to witchcraft and sorcery. This all leads to witchcraft and sorcery. So it's like, that's why I brought out that Job 13 and 4. So regardless you're taking Xanax, anything prescribed from a doctor, how they say it's medicinal, it's witchcraft and sorcery, like the pharmakeia, the Greek definition of it. Look it up if you don't believe me. Yeah, so like anyone, the ones that are doing witchcraft and like that alchema, like in elixir, they're using potions. And witches, anyone in the dark arts, like engineers, scientists, farmers, chemists, anyone who engages in the dark ages is a witch. It's doing sorcery. And it's not ritual. These are what necromancy, witchcraft is a practitioner of the necromancy rituals concerning black magic, evil spirits. Yeah. So like a shaman gave one of the people that went to Africa to do this, a successful person that went to Africa met a shaman, and the shaman gave him some ingredients for seeds to make multiple weed strains. So that's how you know it's witchcraft. They're putting chemicals in the weed, and you're not supposed to be smoking that. That's chemicals you're smoking. It alters your DNA and everything. And we know the side effects of smoking weed is you lose brain cells. It's a gateway drug. It makes you have more anxiety. That's why Satan knows how to use these agendas as to curse the people to be astray, to come into the gospel of Yahawashi. In Ephesians 6, it tells you how this is a spiritual warfare, and Satan will use anyone to try to steer you away from the gospel of Yahawashi. Come. I'm gonna bring out that. Sirach 38, that goes with that. That physician. How the physician is all lies here. Don't put your trust in Esau, Edom. It's all lies. Sirach, bear with me. I'm about to get to it. But yeah, kind of. That's like if anyone's smoking weed around, that's why you flee from the serpent. Amos 3:3, that we can't be agreed with that. If they're not in the gospel, we flee. Just like 2 Corinthians 6:14. How can we be yoked with non-believers? You can't. It doesn't work. Salaki, I'm almost on it. Look at Sirach, chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord had created him. So if the physician is of Yahawashi, Yahawashi, then you honor him. But these physicians are of Esau, Edom. So we don't honor these ones. Verse 2, for the Most High come and healeth, and he shall receive the honor of the king. Yahawashi, Yahawashi is the one that's healeth you and will save you in the end times. That's where you put your faith, like in Habakkuk 2:4. You know? That's where you put your faith. So let's go down. Let me go down to verse 12. Then give place to a physician, for the Lord hath created him.
God said, he's coming.
Yeah, he's coming fast.
How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
What's he doing?
Preaching the word, Yahawashi, Yahawashi. He's really black. He's not white.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his true name's Yahawashi, and he's Paleo Hebrew. That's it.
So by his own.
El Diablo, he's the devil. That's the devil right there. Caesar Borgia, it was prophesied to the wisdom of Solomon 14. Yeah, Solomon prophesied that they would do this, that the Pope Alexander, the son like that. Caesar Borgia, you can look him up. That's really who that is. 666, yeah. The mark of the beast is going to be the chip. That's going to be on the point of your head.
So then if I was brought back by the man that credited his work.
Yeah, if you want to hear the words, just let me know. I got you. You can be baptized in the name of Yahawashi.
What church?
This is the church right here. This is Church of Yahawashi, Yahawashi.
Okay.
Yeah. Have a good one. This is Sirach 38. Go down to verse. Yeah, they don't want to hear it like. They don't want to take heed to it. They just walk off. See how it's doing. Sirach 38, verse 12. I'll go down to 13. I just read 12. There is a time when their hands there is a good success. Verse 14. For they shall also pray unto the Lord, and when he prosper, that he which give for ease and redemnity to prolong life. Verse 15. Well, yeah, so verse 12, Yahawashi, Yahawashi created the physician. So if a physician heals you through Yahawashi, Yahawashi, you can give honor to that, but we don't praise these physicians that go through Esau, Edom, because all they do is lie. So you'd rather go through a physician through Yahawashi, Yahawashi. One that's not with Esau, Edom in their system. Because all they do is lie. Like in Job 13:4. Verse 15. He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hands of a physician. So if you sin, you're going to fall into the hands of a physician of Esau, Edom. And that's your pay. That's your give back for not following these law, statutes, and commandments. That's your judgment. Whatever happens to you. This is why we need to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments. This is Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. We'll start at verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished in making these books. There is no end. In much study and weariness of the flesh. This weariness of the flesh. Following this world. We don't follow this world. We're not of this world. We're set apart. That's why we don't smoke weed. We set apart. Because it's the lust of the flesh, like 1 John 2:15 and 16. We don't love the world. Now verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of men. Verse 14, for Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So that's why we fear Yahweh only. We don't fear man. When we follow these law, statutes, and commandments, because it's the duty of man. Yahweh Shem Yahawashi is the one who's going to put judgment on this place for evil or good. Whether it be good or evil. Yahweh Radazal, we want to be able to elect and get crowned. Let no man take thy crown. Come on. Again, it's that. Oh, yeah, we get into that 1 Peter 4 and 8. It's like in 1 Peter 5 and 8. Because it's spiritual warfare, so just have to see. Where from here? Actually, I'll start with this 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 31. Whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of Yahweh. So whatever we do is for the glory of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. We don't smoke weed because that's not glorifying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi. Come. We don't want to put a stumbling block on anyone. We judge you according to your righteous judgment. Like John 7 and 24. That's why I'll bring out this Romans chapter 14 and verse 13. Let us not therefore judge one another anymore, but judge this rather, that no man hath put a stumbling block or an occasion to fall in his brother's way. God, we don't want to put a stumbling block on anyone. So we judge a righteous judgment. So I'm trying to find that 1 Peter that they hiding from me. Hey, I got it. It's 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant. That means to watch. Because your adversary, the devil, is as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So you know, just like how it says the spiritual warfare, like in Ephesians chapter 6, I'll bring it out. Because Satan can use anyone to try you. Because Yahweh Shem Yahawashi is watching to see if you're going to fold or not in your faith. This is a trial of fire that we're going through, the baptism of fire. That's why we be sober. No matter what. When we follow Yahawashi, we put our foundation on the Lord, like in Hebrews 6. And in 1 Corinthians. And then Yahawashi, lo, he cometh in the volume of the book. So this is Luke 24, chapter 44. And he said unto them, these are the things which I spake unto you, while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled, which were written in the law of Moses, and in the prophets, and the Psalms concerning me. Then he opened their understanding, and they might understand the scriptures. So this is how you understand the scriptures, by coming to Yahawashi Yahawashi, because he's the volume of the book. Trying to get that Ephesians. I got it. All praises to Yahawashi Mashiach Malak Yahawashi. It's Ephesians chapter 6. It's Ephesians chapter 6. Let's start at verse 11. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that he might be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness of the world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Verse 13. Stand, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand the be able to withstand in the evil day, having done all to stand. Verse 14, stand therefore, having your lions girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness. So that's what we want to have. We want to have on the breastplate of righteousness. Righteousness is the way, right, to fulfill all things, right? Like how Yahawashi said when he got baptized, because it's a commandment in Psalms 119 and 172 as well. This is what we do to fulfill all things. And then, because we're fighting against the spiritual things, the spiritual wickedness. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a spiritual war that we're fighting against the devil, because any times the devil could come and try you through any person. He will put that spirit on that person and they will try you. So that's why we're going through this. So this is why we're going through that. And then in Hebrews chapter 12, you get that. See that real quick? Salakia. Yeah, I knew I was 2 chapters off. Yeah, like this smoking weed, that's a form of idolatry. That's why we flee from that. Like I could get that out right now. 1 John chapter 5 and 21. Little children, keep yourselves from idols, a mock. Then I'll go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 14. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 14. Even so hath the Lord ordained that which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. So like that's 1 Corinthians 9 and 14. So you got to live of the gospel that we preach. And then I'll go to 1 Corinthians, because you got to believe in the gospel to wake up. And this is 1 Corinthians chapter 1. So I get 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 14. Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry. That's why we flee from idolatry. Because this is what that is. So we follow these law, statutes, and commandments and keep following Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Just like in Ezekiel chapter 14. It tells you. I'll start at verse 6. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 6. Therefore I say unto you, house of Israel, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, repent and turn yourselves from your idols, and turn away your faces from all your abominations. This is abomination unto Yahawashi, Yahawashi, smoking weed. And I'm going to get there. You'll see it. For every one of you, the house of Israel, a stranger that sojourneth in Israel, and separate himself from me, and setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I, Yahweh, will answer him by myself. So like I was telling you, this is a stumbling block. You smoking weed, it's a stumbling block. You falling into the sin, that's a stumbling block. Because we're seeking the kingdom, and we're just trying to get right.
Amen.
Yeah, Khan, all praise the Yahawashi, Yahawashi. If you want to hear the word, come here. Because this is what gets you to the kingdom, seeking righteousness, and all, seek the kingdom, and all righteousness will get added onto you. Verse 8, and I will set my face against the man that I will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and he shall know that I am Yahweh. Verse 9, and the prophet deceived when he had spoken a thing, and I, Yahweh, have deceived that prophet, and I will stretch out my hand upon him, and I will destroy him from the midst of the people of Israel. Verse 10, and they shall bear the punishment of their iniquity, and the punishment of the prophet shall even be as the punishment of him that seeketh unto him. So if you seeketh the false prophet, you're going to get the same reward as the false prophet. So that's why you know that if you do idolatry and you're a false prophet, you'll be cut off by Yahawashi, Yahawashi. That's what that states right there in that verse 8 and 9 and 10. What I just read. That's why we follow these law, statutes, and commandments. Keep pushing. Before you get back up. Yeah. You want to hear the word? Come here. I got you. That's why if you take a loss, it's only a lesson to come back 10 times harder. Like I was saying, if you mess up, it's only a chance to give back and come to the Lord and make up and fix your mistake and come harder. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 7. We'll start at verse 6. And burnt offerings and sacrifices for sin, those had no pleasure. No pleasure, because now it's the new covenant. When we're in Yahawashi, he's the sacrifice for us. Verse 7, then I said, lo, I cometh in the volume of the book. It is written to me to do thy will, O Yahweh. So Paul's doing the will by preaching Yahawashi, because Yahawashi is the ultimate sacrifice that pleased Yahweh to die for our sins, that we get saved and make it to the kingdom Yahweh Radazal. We get that song from David, brings it out too. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 40 and verse 7. We'll start at 6. Sacrificing and offerings thou didst not desire. My ears hast thou opened. Burnt offerings and sins offering hast thou not required. So Paul was quoting David. Then said I, lo, I cometh in the volume of the book. It is written to me. Verse 8. I delight to do thy will of my Yahweh. Yeah, my law is within my heart. Verse 9. I preach righteousness. And in the great congregation, lo, I have not refrained my lips. O Yahweh knowest. Verse 10, I have not hid thy righteousness within my heart. I have declared thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and the truth from the great congregation. Verse 11, withhold thou thy tender mercies from me, O Yahweh. Let thy loving kindness and thy truth continually preserve me. Verse 12, for innumerable evils have compassed me about, and my iniquities have taken a hold upon me, so that I may not be able to look up. They are more than hairs of my head, and therefore my heart faileth me. Please, O Lord, to deliver me, O Yahweh, and haste to help me. So yeah, David was saying right there that loving kindness and his faithfulness and his righteousness is what's going to bring him to salvation by doing the will of Yahawashi Yahawashi and preaching righteousness. Because the low,
Thank you, my brother.
God bless you, man. Hey, you too. You have a blessed one. You want to hear the word? Come hear it. I'll praise Yahawashi Yahawashi. Yeah, because Yahawashi cometh in the reading of the book. So Yahawashi is the word, and that's what we're doing through our will. What David was saying, what Paul quoted, and then Yahawashi quoted it as well in Luke 24 and 44. Because like I was saying, it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 21. And I'm going to go at verse 21. He that followeth after righteousness and mercy findeth life, righteousness and honor. So if you're finding righteousness, you're following that righteousness, trying to get mercy from Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi and honor through Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi. You know? Like,
You know your face isn't.
It's not?
No.
It's still not? Make it higher. Thank you. Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'll work.
Yep.